Well, here is something strange about modern politics. When we hear the word dictator, we imagine war, we imagine aggressive leaders invading countries, marching armies. But when we actually look at the world today, something surprising appears. Many dictatorships are avoiding wars, and many so-called democracies are leading wars. The United States in Iraq, NATO in Libya, Western support in Ukraine, military operations across the Middle East. So here is the big question. Why are dictators suddenly careful about war, while democracies seem to fight more? Well, the answer is much more complicated than it looks. And to understand it, we need to go back in history. Because dictators were not always peaceful. In the 20th century, dictators were the most dangerous leaders on earth. Think about Adolf Hitler of Nazi Germany, or Benito Mussolini of Italy, or Imperial Japan's military leadership. These regimes started some of the deadliest wars in human history. World War II alone killed around 70 million people. Back then, dictators loved war because war made them stronger. War helped them control their population. War created nationalism, and war allowed them to expand territory. But the world today is very different. Today, war is much more dangerous for dictators. Let me explain why. First, modern wars are extremely expensive. According to the Cost of War project at Brown University, the United States alone spent over $8 trillion on wars after 2001. Now imagine a dictatorship with a weak economy trying to fight such wars. It can destroy their economy very quickly. And dictators know something important. If the economy collapses, people may revolt. And dictators fear internal collapse much more than external enemies. You see, a dictator's biggest threat is not another country, it is his own people. Second reason, modern technology. In the past, dictators controlled information. People inside the country knew very little about wars. But today, we have smartphones, social media, satellite images, and global media. When soldiers die, the news spreads instantly. When war causes economic pain, people notice quickly. And when citizens get angry, dictators become nervous. Just look at Russia's war in Ukraine. When casualties increased, Russia had to control media heavily to prevent public anger. Even authoritarian leaders must now worry about public perception. Third reason, global economic interdependence. The world economy is deeply connected. Trade, technology, supply chains, banking systems, everything is linked. If a country starts a war, it may face massive sanctions. Look at what happened to Russia after the Ukraine invasion. Western countries froze hundreds of billions of dollars in Russian assets. Many global companies left Russia. Its economy was isolated from parts of the world. Now imagine smaller dictatorships watching this. They see a clear lesson. War can destroy your access to global markets. And without global trade, many modern economies cannot survive. Fourth reason, democracies operate differently in war decisions. This part is very interesting. In democracies, leaders must show strength to voters. Sometimes foreign conflicts help leaders look decisive. Political scientists call this the diversionary war theory. It means leaders sometimes use foreign conflicts to distract from domestic problems. History shows examples. During difficult political moments, leaders sometimes take strong foreign actions because showing strength abroad can improve popularity at home. But dictators already control politics. They do not need elections. They do not need to impress voters. Their priority is simple: stay in power, and risky wars can threaten that power. Now let us look at modern examples. China is an authoritarian system. But despite tensions over Taiwan, China has been extremely careful about military action. Instead, it focuses heavily on economic growth and global trade. Russia, even though it started the Ukraine war, avoided large wars for decades before that. North Korea constantly threatens war, but almost never actually starts one. Instead, many authoritarian regimes prefer proxy conflicts, cyber warfare, or economic competition. These strategies are safer. They allow influence without risking full war. Now here comes the biggest irony. Political scientist Rudolf Rummel studied government violence and coined the term democide. His research found that authoritarian governments killed over 260 million people in the 20th century, mostly inside their own countries. So dictators may avoid foreign wars today, but historically they have caused massive internal violence. Democracies, on the other hand, rarely fight war against other democracies. This is called the democratic peace theory. But democracies still often fight wars against non-democratic states. So what we are seeing today is a strange global pattern. Dictatorships are becoming strategically cautious. Democracies are still deeply involved in global conflicts. But the reasons are complex: economic pressure, technology, global trade, political incentives, and fear of internal collapse. So the real reason is this: war today is not just about ideology, it is about survival of the political system. And sometimes the leaders who appear strongest are actually the ones most afraid to take the risk. Now here is the big question for the future. As global tensions rise, with conflicts in Ukraine, the Middle East and Asia, will dictators continue avoiding large wars? Or will new geopolitical rivalries push the world back into major conflicts? Because history shows one thing very clearly: when global powers miscalculate, the consequences can change the entire world, and the next big war may not start where we expect.